Hey, it's Jag. Let's start making this look like a guitar again.
Yeah.
I've needed a trim router for this kind of stuff for a long time. The big router and the big router table are great for doing the big jobs, but for doing things like round over and finessing the edges of the sides of the guitar, I think a trim router just is easier to work with. It's smaller, you can maneuver it easier, and it feels safer. Probably not really is safer, but it feels safer. And also doing things like pickup cavities, control cavities. I think those are all going to be easier to do with a trim router. Along with that, I got one of these momentary foot switches that you plug the router in, and you can turn your router on, but it won't start until you step on the pedal. I just always have really felt like that was a good idea, especially with something you're holding and could, for whatever reason, get out of your hands, and you just step off the switch and it'll turn off. The one thing you do have to remember when you're doing that is to actually turn the switch on your router before you use the pedal. And when you're done using the router, also remember to turn off the switch on the router so you don't set it down and accidentally step on the switch and start it up when you're not paying attention. Of course, you should always unplug those things when you're not actually using them. So now I'm ready to open up those pickup cavities and the cavity for the jack cup. That's about all I'm going to have time for today. When I came to start getting ready for actually opening up the cavities again, I realized I had drilled a hole here where the neck pickup's going to go and here where the bridge pickup's going to go. But I forgot to make a mark where the jack socket cup is. So I'm going to need to fish around a little bit for that. Hopefully I'll nail it. What I've done is I took a little tack hammer, and wherever there's a cavity, if you're tapping on the top, you can hear when you get over the cavity. So for example, the switch jack cavity is right here. If you tap on the guitar, when you get over the cavity, you can hear that it changes. It gets a more of a hollow sound. So I'll do that again. That's over the solid body of the guitar, and here's where the controller, where the switch cavity is. You can hear the difference in the sound. The control cavity is right here. If I lift it up, you can hear it a little better. Solid cavity. It seems a little lower and throatier. So I've already done this and pretty much think I've got where the jack cup cavity is. I've marked it already right here, and I'm saying that that's it because if I tap here and then I tap where I've marked, the sound is different. Right there. So I'm pretty confident that the jack cavity is right there. So I'm just going to hope I'm right. Get a drill and put a little pilot hole in there and see if I'm right. Hopefully I don't end up with a whole bunch of little holes in here. I'll have to have another creative solution. Considering that the new top is only about a quarter of an inch, maybe 5/16 of an inch thick, I'm just going to drill about that far in, and then if I can take the bit, the drill bit out of the drill, pull it out, push it through that hole, and it goes farther than I drilled, I'll know I've nailed the cavity. Well, that didn't go exactly how I planned, but I did nail the cavity. It went through the top and immediately jumped through. So I'm very happy I have nailed that. I know where it is now. So I'm going to open that up a little bit with an 1/8 inch bit and see if I can get an idea of how close I am to the wall on either side. If I've actually happened to drill this hole and I'm right against the wall, drilling in with a Forstner bit, of course, will give me a hole where I don't want it, or it'll be off the mark. Just going to be very careful with that. Can't really tell. I know what I can do. I'm going to take a little nail that can fit through that hole. I can wiggle it around. I don't seem to be hitting anything on the side, and I figure I'm getting a pretty good arc in there. But what I'm going to do is bend this about halfway, work it in there, and then just turn it and see if it stops or not. If I get a free spin all the way around, I know I'm roughly in the middle of that hole. So I bent a little crook in that nail. We'll see what happens. I dropped the nail in there, but I do know that this hole is not quite, it's a little offset more. The cavity is a little closer on this side than this side. So I'm going to take a small bit, maybe a 1/4 inch bit, drill in there, and I should be able to have a better idea what's going on in that cavity. I got lots of room. I think I pretty much nailed this right in the center. So this is a 1/2 inch diameter flush trim bit. So I'm going to take a 1/2 inch Forstner bit, drill into there, and hopefully I'm right on all my guessing and measuring. I will be very grateful and lucky if I've gotten this right. We'll find out. Perfect. I nailed it. I went to a 1/2 inch Forstner bit because I didn't want to get into the meat at the side of this cavity. My flush trim bit is a 1/2 inch diameter. So I took a 1/2 inch twist drill bit, which is my largest twist drill bit, and reamed that hole out a little bit bigger. I'm still not comfortable trying to drop that bit into here. So I've been struggling with how do I open this up a little bit more, and it finally occurred to me, use my chisels. So I'm going to chisel out some of this wood just to make this hole a little bit bigger so I can have a little room when I'm dropping in that router bit. Okay, I've gotten in there with a drill bit, a chisel, one of my razor files, and I'm really close to the edge over here, close enough that I would be comfortable routing there, but I've got quite a bit of space over here still, so I'm going to go in with a Forstner bit, and then I think I'll probably be ready to drop in with the router bit. We'll see what happens. Okay, well, I've got that opened up to where I'm comfortable going through with the dropping the flush trim bit in using the trim router. I'm within 1/8 of an inch of the wall of the cavity all the way around, except over here. I think I've got probably about 1/4 of an inch, just a little bit here. So I'll have to be careful going there. I'm going to start from the thin spot and work my way around to that very carefully and gently. Maybe I can nibble into that rather than just kind of charge right into it against the wall. Well, that worked out really well. The jack plate fits in there, and it looks just fine. I'm out of time for today, so I can't open up those pickup cavities today, so I guess I'll start with that in the next video. I will sand the sides, get those a little bit more finessed, and we'll see what we do from there. So like always, please check out my band One Soul Thrust. The link is below in the description. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And until the next video, we'll see you.